Twisted Dice, I'm Darren, and this is Overwatch, where we'll be covering everything over the battlefield, hobby side, 40k, 30k, maybe Sigma, painting, you name it, we'll cover it. But today we're going to be covering over 40k, the new changes that's just come in around the
Balance Dataslate quarter 4.
That's it, the data slate.
The balance data sheet.
That's it.
We got the changes coming. Finally, we've been waiting for what must have felt like ages now.
Yeah. That's it.
They dropped it on a Thursday afternoon.
So my guests in the studio today are going to be Sean and Alex.
Hey guys.
So it's interesting because we've just done a battle report where we've just had Alex versus Sean. Really cool report. Can't wait to get this one edited and get this up. I'm going to enjoy it. But let's keep this short and sweet because time is precious and we want to get down to the key factors that's changed in this new data sheet. We're going to cover over those, and we're also going to cover what we would like to have seen changed in this new data sheet. But look, let's cover it off. Alex, talk us through what has been the factions that's changed, first of all. Which armies have been affected?
So there's not as many as we might have thought. Tyranids, Harlequins, Adeptus Astartes, the Adeptus Mechanicus, and Necrons all got a little bit of tweaking here and there, but not with a lot.
Kind of gutted that Orcs didn't get no love in there at all.
No Orcs.
I know we did get it on the last one, but not to get it on this one kind of upsets me and guts me.
No Orcs, no Chaos.
Yeah, very good. Actually, do you know what? I'm surprised on Chaos.
Yeah.
Very, very surprised on Chaos. And Sisters didn't even get no
No
love
touch
in there
on
as well.
Sisters.
So that's interesting because that's, and obviously we know Necrons have, but let's cover it off first of all. So Sean, let's go with you first of all. Marines, tell us what is new in the new Marine
We've
segment.
had such an amazing and massive change. Like, this is completely going to rock your world.
Marines are going to go 100 Naught games now.
Yeah, we're going to smash in those points so much higher by probably 5 more points than we normally do.
I can see you're so excited on this. Right? I can't wait to hear what's changed.
So what's changed is the shock tactics secondary is now 4 victory points when you achieve it.
Woohoo!
So,
Does that mean that you're going to win games now, though, Sean?
It means I'm not going to lose as hard.
Ooh, okay.
it's a very small change, isn't it?
Yeah,
Let's
could
be
that
real.
mean then potentially maybe that Games Workshop maybe have a new codex in the wings waiting to come out?
I would say that's probably... It's very suspicious that nothing else has been touched. It feels very much like a lot of stuff needs to change. So
The biggest question on everyone's lips though, do you still have armor contempt?
At the moment, yes.
That's all that matters, baby. That's all that matters. Alex, take us through Tyranids.
Tyranids. So, nice change here was Leviathan traits. It's now not all Synapse on the full transhuman. Only your Synapse monsters are getting the full transhuman. Everything else is back down to that mini transhuman on the Synaptic Link ranges.
Wow, okay.
So that's your standard Leviathan traits, but so now your warriors, your zoanthropes, those other little Synapse units now don't get the full transhuman.
Jesus, okay, so that
So
means
that
now...
big brick of warriors,
I was going to say, yeah, that's the warriors, like,
Yeah.
gone. Forget
warriors,
about it.
even the zoanthropes, they're now going to be much easier to shift.
Wow.
So that's a big change to kind of that meta army at the moment. Your 2 or 3 big squads of warriors now aren't going to survive as fast.
That's bonkers. Sean, so what's the next one that's changed?
Should we go into Harlequins?
Let's do Harlequins.
Yeah, should we do Harlequins?
Now, bearing in mind at the moment, what's the win rate with Harlequins at the moment?
It's around 60%
Is it
at
like
least.
63%? I like to say 69%. I don't know. I think it's 63, but 69 seems like a fair number for Harlequins.
At the actual numbers.
We're at 58% according to GW's.
Yeah.
Really?
58%.
You're one off. No 69 for you.
The Tyranids are on 59.
59. Okay, so 2 factions, and then just out of curiosity, going back to, I know we covered Marines already, but what are their win rate?
Marines.
Is it something like?
I got to scroll up and down the article.
Marines are down at 39%.
Okay.
As a Astartes, so everything out of the Codex that doesn't have their own kind of specialist set of units.
Sure, that's the interesting one. Okay, so talk us through Harlequins. And tell
So
us what
it's
looks good.
only really affected the Blaze of Light. Light Sedith?
Like Sideth.
Sade?
So that's the one where you've got to go super fast, do everything you wanted. There's a little tweak here, isn't there?
Yeah, so now it's just units in the transports don't count as remaining stationary when they advance up the board. For most players, that just means instead of that transport moving 22 inches, 26
Instead of
inches,
22,
it was a huge, it was like across the board movement and getting shot off the board. They can't quite do that now, so yay! Get
You
table
can
turn
hear
2.
Everyone on the other side of that camera just going absolutely jumping for joy. You can just hear it just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Especially us orcs.
Yep, but the transport itself will still count as remaining stationary. It's the pistols inside, all the guns on the guys inside the transports now.
No more fusion pistols
Yes.
shooting.
How much a game changer do we think that's going to be in the actual game itself?
You got a turn to move out of your own deployment zone.
I don't think it's going to be huge here. Like, it's nice. I don't know that that's what people were really worried about with Harlequins.
No.
Like, dropping the three pistols that are worth shooting in the squad. I don't know that that's any
The problem
different.
is with the dice, all the jank they get off with the dice, the speed, they're so effective in shooting, so effective in close combat, so effective at getting across the board. It makes them a very easy army to, look, let's put it this way. They're not an easy army to take on. I won't say that straight away because Harlequins are not. They can be fragile on certain things, but if you played them a few games, Harlequins are a very, very powerful army. They're going to do very well. Whatever you come up against, you're going to delete unless you're very, very unlucky. But okay, interesting. Alex, what is our next one we're going to cover?
The next one, the Adeptus Mechanicus. All those data slate changes that you've had previously are now removed. You're back to the codex, outside of the FAQs and the points changes. Everything as it was from the book when they dropped it.
That's interesting.
So that's a
really
big
interesting.
power boost for them. Hopefully that can help them because they were another army that was really struggling due to a lot of the top players just not seeing their worth. And it's a difficult army to get right. There's so much you have to do even just in that command phase.
Yeah, sure.
But I think that's probably part of their problem. All these things cost CP. So I think they'll still struggle. But I think they might see a little bit of resurgence now that you kind of aren't as limited on what your abilities do.
That's interesting, man. That's interesting.
I would say it's a watch this space kind of thing.
Yeah, I think so. Now, obviously, we've got probably some big announcements coming out very soon. In the next
The next GW Open in the US, I think it
when's
is.
Is that coming? That's got to be coming up.
I think
very
that's
soon.
the end of the month or around then.
Okay, it'll be
There's
interesting.
The
'Cause
big releases then.
I think it's going to be. Also, we know you've got the Guard Codex coming out. We know, they've been hitting up on the World Eaters. We've already seen some of the cool stuff that's come out from them.
You can't wait, can you? You just can't wait.
I want to scream across the battlefield, "Blood for the Blood God!"
Instead of shouting, "Wow!" Yeah.
But there's a lot of shouting. Whenever I play, there's a lot of shouting. There's
It's
a
all
lot
in
of
your
excitement.
face. It's loud.
Yeah.
They want to kill you with a big choppy thing.
Do you know what? Maybe that's where me, World Eaters, and Orcs get on so well. I think
Just
actually,
run at everyone with an axe.
That's it. Maybe Orcs should be Khorne. Maybe that's the
That's
Blood
the
God.
new thing.
Perhaps that's an aspect of Gorka Morka is now Khorne.
Yeah, that's it. Got Khorne just play some tricks. Maybe there's some bits in there. Maybe we should turn the Orcs from green to red.
I mean, there were in
There's
White
some
Dwarfs and
There's some proper
God-
heresy going on here. You know what I mean?
like old orcs had the Gene Stealer ones, and I'm sure there was Khorne orcs as well.
I bet the gods have tainted every type of one. So
Yeah.
we can go with that. Okay, so how many factions we got left
We've got
to
the
cover?
last faction, Necrons. Sean, what's changed on the Necrons here?
Yay! Silent King is no longer core. Well, the actual wording is core keyword is no longer added to Necron vehicle data sheets with the character keyword as well.
Okay, cool. That's
So that's a huge change. The Silent King now no longer gives himself full rerolls. He now cannot be ordered for the My Will Be Done either.
And
yeah.
you can't resurrect those
Menhirs. Yeah, no, Menhirs now don't come back either
Yeah,
with
see,
the
I always
Technomancer.
thought that was a bit jank. The fact that you could just bring them back up and be like, hey, here we go. You know, I didn't think that was right.
I think that's a good change, and I think that's probably one of the ones that we did see coming.
Yeah, fair one. It makes total sense. So that's pretty much all.
And that's it. That is the balanced data slate.
So this is the point where we cover what we think should have happened in this update. Sean.
I might as well, because it's right here in the top of my noggin, wanting to come out. Necrons, that sub-faction where you get objective secure on everything, I think should disallow on canoptic units, because it's so crap that they move up with a big scarab unit, do the action, and they're doing like 10, 20, 30 points a turn, and you can't do nothing to stop it.
Yeah. I
There's
don't
no
think
interaction.
I've seen a Necron player not going that relentlessly expansionist with a pre-game move and the everything obsec trait.
Yeah.
It
So
makes sense.
That's
you know.
something I was surprised they didn't look at, because it's probably 80% of Necron players using it.
Do we feel that they're probably a little bit short-sighted on when they're doing these better
I
sheets?
will say I can understand why they're hesitating on doing some more bits, because all my games versus Necrons, even versus some of those scary resurrecting lists, I'm tabling them. And
They do get table quick, yeah.
And I'm not a good faction, I don't feel. I'm not a bad faction, but I'm not like other factions. So they're still getting tabled, so I feel like there's something needs to help them.
Something in the middle, almost.
Yeah.
Okay, fair one. Alex.
I was looking for some more changes to the secondary objectives for that Nephilim pack. I think you've got the Necrons one, you've got the Sisters one, and there's a few others out there that just feel so easy for them to do.
Yeah, sure. Look, the
Like
Necron ones are definitely strong. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and the Sisters.
The Sisters one where you just get 15 points for using the things you were going to use anyway. Like, I could have seen that, like, they capped one of them at 12. They probably could have capped that down at 12 as well.
I think they should have done a little bit more to that, and I think there's a little bit lazy writing there.
Yeah.
I think there should have been more thought process in it, because if you look at the battlefield, you know,
It's not like they were a faction that was struggling on the rest of the side of the game either.
And like, you know, you got Armor Contempt on them.
Yeah.
You know, Armor Contempt is absolutely massive.
They're really cheap trading pieces for what they do. So they play the missions really well, and they now have a secondary where they don't actually have to interact with you. So they can sit on their side of the table, wait for you to have to commit while still scoring their points. So I think that could have done with a little tweak.
That's a good point, actually. Bring any secondary where you can't interact to stop it or do anything about it is a problem.
Yeah, I can go with that. Definitely go with that. Okay, so for myself, now we've just seen AdMech have their codex reset, so all the rules, FAQs are just dropped.
Well, no, the FAQs are still there, so any kind of wording updates are still around.
Granted, AdMech are a very heavy CP army, and they need the CP, so with the way the new CP is formed, that definitely hurts them. You know, not being able to spend the extra CP on their characters to get all their special goods and all their special abilities is going to hurt them. But for myself, seeing that with them, I would have liked to have seen Orcs have some love. Like, I would love to have seen Armor Contempt drop from the face of the earth. And the reason being is, like, Games Workshop, what's going on with you, man? Every time that you write a codex, everything's got 2 damage weapons. Or
2 damage AB2 seems to be the
thing.
main theme.
So what is the point of, someone answer me, what is the point of, like, having Armor Contempt and things like, you just write the codexes better.
I think just reduce the damage output of all these new codexes, so you don't need that emergency Armor of Contempt in there.
Yeah, just you don't need it. That's just bonkers. Anyway, look, what I would like to see is the Orc Codex reset. So where we're limited to 3 of each buggy, I would like that to be reset. And having that ability again to have, if we wanted to be crazy and run 9 squig buggies,
or limit it to 2 of each unit. So you can have your 2 units of scrap jets, 2 units of
that's actually better
blasters.
One. Yeah, that's a fair compromise. I'd like that.
Because currently it is, you're allowed 1 unit of each type.
Yeah.
So you get a unit of 3.
And if we're not going to lose Armor Contempts, look, I like Armor Contempts, and it's like a double-edged sword for me. Okay, when I play my Chaos Space Marines and play the World Eaters, I want that Armor Contempt. I need that Armor Contempt. It is a very effective tool. Chaos otherwise won't be getting up top tables, but it plays a massive great part in there. But when I'm the orc in me says we've got to lose it, or please, let's make our choppers AP2.
But then you're just like doubling up on the problem of everything else having too much AP.
That's every other faction's problem. That's not mine.
Well, every other faction, I think we could have seen some tweaks to the Chaos stuff. Like, I think that's something that I thought might have turned up, was Creations of Bile could have lost that fight last. You look, Dark Harlequins lost that.
Yeah, they didn't even address. That's a good shout.
Creations of Bile. You're running that or Emperor's Children at the moment.
Emperor's Children Chaos is just too much toolkit. You're forced to be honest.
So I think there could have been some tweaks here and there in the Chaos book. The Chaos Demons probably needed some points tweaks rather than rules tweaks. So I don't know that that's a balanced data slate thing, but that's something I'd like to see. Like those Flamers of Tzeentch are crazy at 25 points each.
They're not bad. They're not
but you
bad.
just got to get them in combat. Can you survive the Overwatch? And then if you can, are you sending something really big to deal with the 100 points?
No, you're not. You need cheap. Because there's no point shooting at them. You've got to get them in combat to really be effective with them. But look, that's another talk, another conversation for another day. But what we've covered off today, I think, has been great. Please drop some comments down below. Let us know what you think of this short video. Whether you find this good, bad, ugly. Actually, we don't want to know that.
No.
That'd be self-destroying.
What else would you like to see us cover, though? If you've got a topic that's really on your mind, that you want us to talk about, drop it in the comments. Put it on our Facebook page.
Yeah, come join the Twisted Dice wargaming community, and in there, please drop us some comments down. Let us know what type of things you want to add in there. That'd be really, really cool. Anyway, I've been your host, Darren. My guests, Alex, Sean.
You looked at the
We're
wrong one.
going to say...
We're signing off.
That's it. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please do hit that like and subscribe. It does help us out massively, and hopefully we're going to catch you again on a painting video, battle report, or even another one of these little short Overwatches.